What's going on, everybody? NFL Week 14 here. I got some picks for you for some anytime touchdown scores, and if you stay to the end of the video, I have a 4-leg parlay, not on Prizepicks, so if you're interested in spreads, over-unders, and that sort of thing, watch part 2 of this video. Anyway, we're going to do the 6 plays right now. First one I have here is Patrick Mahomes. This one popped up earlier this morning, so of course I'm going to jump on that. Secondly, we are looking for Tony Pollard to get in the end zone. The Titans have found themselves on the right end of a spread for the first time this year. It feels like he's made the most of his opportunities, getting 4.3 yards a carry. And great news, the Jaguars are giving up over 1 rushing touchdown per game to opposing running backs. And as the spread would dictate, with the Titans being favored, I expect Tony Pollard to be involved in the offense a lot. And I know a lot of people are targeting Calvin Ridley too for a touchdown because Will Levis has been doing really well. But I like Tony Pollard. The star running back is going to get more touches than 5, 6, maybe 7 catches out of Ridley. Second play here, that was the Tony Pollard one. Third anytime touchdown scorer. He's not on the board. I don't know why, or maybe I know why. I was looking for DeAndre Swift. He's still not here. Roschon Johnson is out, and this is great news. Because the 49ers are one of the worst rush defenses. They're actually 31st in both rushing touchdowns allowed, and they're giving up almost 2 a game at 1.6. So if you see DeAndre Swift, go ahead and add him. But for me, luckily he's not there, so we're going to have to pivot. We're going to James Cook. We're going Rams, Bills in LA for that late game in the afternoon. James Cook, he has been on a tear recently. He's been a cash cow for anytime touchdowns, racking up a total of 12 this year, 11 on the ground, 1 in the air. I called it in my comment section on my last video last week, and he did score. And the Rams are almost dead last in the NFL and struggle against yards per rush and rush attempts allowed. I can't believe he's not a goblin, so you're going to want to go ahead and take advantage of that before he becomes a goblin. Thanks for hanging in there with me, everybody. We got a few more plays here. This is a little bit of a stretch, but I kind of like this one here. Tyrone Tracy. Since taking the lead in New York, he scored 4 in his last 8 games. And this is really good news because the Saints that they're playing this week rank last in NFL in DVOA versus the run and have allowed 13 rushing touchdowns to opposing running backs this season. Especially with the inconsistency in the pass game, they're going to tend to lean on the run. This is going to be a low over-under. It's like 40-41, and they're underdogs, but I could see Tyrone Tracy getting a lot of love there to try and keep the game close. I got 2 more plays here for anytime touchdown scores before I give you my parlay, so if you're still with me, thanks for watching. Bucky Irving and the Raiders. He plays the Raiders, Bucks Raiders on the west or on the East Coast. Oh, it moved. He wasn't a goblin before, but he is now. I didn't get him at a goblin. I got him at regular. It's going to be a big day for him. The Bucks are going to run up the score. The rookie's going to get a lot of touches. He's been cashing for me consistently this year, and he's in a great spot versus the struggling Raiders. I would say Mike Evans would be a choice too, but I don't know. My gut is telling me Bucky Irving here. So if you want to do Mike Evans, I totally understand that. And my last play here, it's gonna be Justin Jefferson. Poor Justin Jefferson. I feel so bad for this guy. He's not getting in the end zone, but he's still the team's leading receiver. Last week, he had almost 140 yards on 7 of 9 receiving, but he's at home in a must-win game that's gonna keep Minnesota on pace for the number 1 seed. Plus, they're playing Atlanta, who's kind of soft on the pass defense. So, Justin Jefferson, come on down. These are going to be the 6 plays, everyone, for my anytime touchdown scorer. We have Patrick Mahomes, Tony Pollard, James Cook, Tyrone Tracy, Bucky Irving, and Justin Jefferson. Like I said before, I'm going to be giving you 4 picks that I like here for the NFL bonus picks. So first, I really like Minnesota here. I'm not taking the points. It's moving up. It was -5, -6, -5.5, and now it's all the way at -6. And let me tell you why. The Falcons won last year in Atlanta, 31-28, so this could be a revenge game since it's in Minnesota. And speaking of a revenge game, Kirk Cousins is going to face his former team, but Kirk Cousins hasn't been doing that well. Hasn't thrown a touchdown in 3 weeks. He threw 4 interceptions last week, and I think the Vikings at home in a must-win game are just going to be too much. So give me Minnesota on the money line. Also, I'm going to be looking into the late game here in the NFC West. Second pick here, I'm taking the Cardinals -2.5. Just a couple weeks ago, these teams played. The Seahawks beat the Cardinals 16-6 in Week 12. But this is a big playoff game here. Whoever wins this game is going to have a 60% chance at making the playoffs, and the loser drops to 20%. The Cardinals lost a close game last week where they should have won, so they'll be extra motivated. Both teams are pretty healthy going in, but it's hard to like sweep a team when you see them twice a year. So give me the Cardinals playing motivated at home. They're gonna take care of business. Maybe a game-winning field goal, 20-17 kind of game versus the Seahawks. And then this is gonna be a lot of fun right here. I'm taking the Bears at +3.5 in Santa Clara, and for good reason. Both teams are kind of struggling a little bit, and they're both trending in the wrong direction. But the 49ers are on the wrong side of this. They lost both of their starting running backs. They're dealing with a whole host of injuries. But the Bears lost their coach, speaking of hot seats. And I've noticed that teams that lose their head coach mid-season have a way of showing up the next game. And this is better momentum to have, especially with the team that has lost so many one-score games like the Bears have. So I'm going to go ahead and take them +3.5. And then the last game I'm going to take here for my 4-leg parlay is going to be the Bengals. This is a fun play. It's kind of a safe play. I just think Joey B and the boys are going to travel to Jerry's World, hand Cooper Rush and the Cowboys now. Cooper Rush is not a pushover. The offense is decent, but the defense for the Cowboys just isn't there. Joe Burrow has like 30 passing touchdowns. They have the #1 wide receiver in Jamar Chase. I think the offense is just going to be too much. I'm taking the Bengals straight up to win. The Bengals, they're not going to go anywhere anytime soon. So as long as they have Joe Burrow, Chase, Higgins, and all of them, they're going to continue to fight until they can't any longer. So give me that. Bengals on the money line, Bears +3.5, Arizona -2.5, and lastly, I have the Vikings money line.